Look, big goals are great, but if you're like me and you're overwhelmed with kids, work at home life, homemaking, and everything in between, it can be a recipe for failure, especially if you're new to goal setting. This month I changed the way I think about goals, so the first thing I changed is to only plan 1 month ahead. Here's the thing, planning out way too far ahead honestly was a bit stressful for me. It gave me tons of anxiety, and I found that when I tried to plan out a year or even 3 months ahead, my goals tend to be a bit too unrealistic. I was stressing about trying to be perfect. There's just so much going into it. I found that when I was thinking just of a month, I could think of what I can do in a week and then multiply that times 4. It tended to be way more realistic for me. Of course, I'd like to get to a point where I can set up quarterly goals and things like that, but right now it's just not realistic for the way my life is set up. I see all these other people on YouTube doing it, and that makes me want to do it, but I just have to remember I am not them, and for me 1 month is enough. So if you find that you're overwhelmed, or maybe your confidence is lacking when it comes to achieving the quarterly or yearly goals you set for yourself, try just putting those to the side for a bit. You'll come back to them later, and just setting a goal for the next month. The next thing that I changed was to just be realistic about my life and my situation. So for instance, one of the goals that I had was to go to sleep every night by 10 p.m. Now the reason I did this was that I found that everyone else on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, was waking up at 5 a.m. They were talking about how it made their day better, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to do that too. I didn't even do it one time. Here's the thing, I'm a night owl. I like being up at night. I'm more productive at night. I'm able to clean better at night. It's just easier for me to stay up all night. Now, 3 a.m. like I was doing, obviously bad. So what I did was set 1 a.m. as my bedtime. Just in the couple weeks that I've been doing it, I've gotten it 3 out of 7 nights, which is better than the 0 out of 7 nights with a 10 p.m. bedtime. So I think we're going somewhere. So the third thing I changed was to plan to take a little longer than I thought that I could. So for instance, one day I looked around my house, it was a couple days ago, and my house looked like a tornado, a hurricane, and an earthquake hit it at the same exact time. It was a mess. Now, old Nigeria would have said, I am going to clean this house by the weekend. It's Friday, by Sunday night it is going to be clean. Then I thought about it. Have that ever worked? No, it never does work. Why do I think that this time is going to be different, and why stress myself out about it? So I decided that I was just going to get my house clean in 10 days. One of the big things that I noticed when it came to my house, that even when I did clean it up fast, it always got back dirty just as fast. And that's because I was so busy just putting stuff away that I wasn't actually organizing anything, decluttering, all of that. So I decided to just go room by room and just make sure I get it the way I like it. So far, my bedroom has been clean for 3 days. I've made up my bed every day. There's nothing on the floor. There's no food in here. It's amazing. And the last thing that I changed, number 4, is to set tiny goals. So in my last video, I believe I said something about setting small goals. Apparently, even for me, small goals are too big, so we're going tiny, y'all. So for me, when I set those first small goals and then wasn't able to achieve them, it just made me feel horrible about myself, because I felt like everybody else was so easily able to do these things, and like, why can't I? So my self-esteem took like a huge hit. So what I've done now is just set tiny goals. So for instance, right now I've got the tiny goal of just keeping this room clean for 7 days. If I can keep it clean for 7 days, we're looking good. Even if I'm not able to do that and I just hit it for 3 days like I have done so far, that's like almost 50% of the goal. Instead of saying I'm gonna keep it clean for a month and I only do it for 3 days, and then I'm like, dang girl, 10%. So yeah, it's really honestly about just like warming yourself up to actually being productive. Being productive does not happen overnight. I can tell you right now, this room is clean, my living room looks like a jungle. So yeah, set some tiny goals that you know you can achieve, or at least are way easier to achieve, and then you can step out and snowball up and build up to those huge goals that I know you can set, that I know I can set, but we're gonna get to it, we're gonna wait. Anyway, if you have any more tips or any ways that you've changed the way that you think about goals, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. If you found any of the things that I said particularly helpful, let me know. And if you want to follow along on my goal setting and hot mess to homemaker journey, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. All right, mama, see you next week. Bye.
I've been on the road, out here with the squad. Everybody trying to go, yeah, the party jumping off. Hey, we putting on a show, trying to catch a vibe. We do this every time, like na 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 na. Feeling like I'm on